This is the challenge with holding stocks, with holding individual companies. The biggest challenge is not getting scared out of good positions. So with Apple, I attribute nearly 100% of my success in that position in particular to not getting scared out of it. And believe me, there's many people that try to scare you out of position.
What a load of freaking crap! Joseph Carlson, you know why you made money on Apple stock? Do you think because you got some special insight, because you're a great investor, because you got diamond hands, you think that's why you made money on Apple stock? Oh, boy! Let me tell you why you really made money, bussy boy! It's because you got lucky! I'm about to show you that everything you've done is pure, unadulterated luck!
Well, again, the answer is simple. Stocks don't go up because of innovation. Stocks go up because of money, because of earnings, and because of free cash flow. Profits drive stocks upward, not innovation. And one thing Apple is incredibly good at, even better than innovation, is making money. Last year, Apple made $92.95 billion in free cash flow. That's money left on the table after paying for all their capital expenditures for Apple to do whatever they want with. And the company does put this money to use. In most cases, they do what's called buybacks, which is buying their own stock. So that's the first problem with the Apple bears.
Did you hear what Joseph Carlson just said? He believes that stock prices, that stock returns, are based on cash flows, on profitability. You're 100% correct, Joseph Carlson, but your justification for why the bears are wrong is one of the most ignorant, arrogant things I have ever heard in my entire life. Do you honestly think, Joseph Carlson, that the bears of Apple stock can't pull up a historical chart of Apple's earnings and make the conclusion that Apple has had growing earnings in the past? Because what you did is the same thing that any freaking 2-year-old could do by themselves. Anybody can pull up the earnings of Apple. They can look at the past profitability, the past free cash flow of Apple, and they can make a conclusion that Apple's profits and free cash flow have indeed gone up. But here's the problem, Joseph Carlson. That is not indicative of the future free cash flow of Apple. What do you think the bears are trying to say? Do you think the bears are disputing that Apple is highly profitable and has a ton of free cash flow in the past? No, they're not. Their bear thesis is about the future, and you tried to prove the bear thesis wrong by showing past performance. You ever hear that thing about how past performance is not indicative of future performance? Yeah, that's actually a really big deal in the world of finance. So what did you prove? That you know how to pull up a chart. Wow, you must be a full-time analyst of Apple stock. Now aren't you, Joseph Carlson?
The first thing that I want to say is that investors on Apple, the majority of investors that I see cover this stock and commentate on this stock, and different people on Reddit and Twitter and social media and YouTube, most of them are wrong. They're dead wrong on Apple, and they're missing the forest from the trees.
Most investors on Reddit, on Twitter, on YouTube that cover Apple stock are wrong. And Joseph Carlson, the guy who produces YouTube videos, and that's what he spends all his time doing, is apparently right about Apple stock. Well, let me explain something to you, Joseph. That's how markets work. Every participant in the market has a different perspective on the intrinsic value of a stock. You may believe Apple's worth $200. Somebody else may be thinking that Apple's worth $150. The third guy might think Apple's worth $120. And all of those different perspectives influence the price of the stock. The wisdom of the market is more powerful than you can possibly know. And sure, sometimes the market goes through irrational bubbles. But we're talking about the largest company that is publicly traded in the United States, Joseph Carlson. Do you really think that you have some special insight into Apple stock that other people don't?
We can actually look at Apple's revenue segment breakdown. Apple earns revenue through different business lines, and those revenues are of different value. The most valuable part of Apple's revenue is the highest margin portion of their revenue, called services. Services includes Apple Care, Apple Music, Apple News, Apple Fitness, Apple TV Plus, all of their App Store sales, all of the stuff that's completely digital that has, relatively speaking, no marginal cost of reproduction. These are things that cost nothing to really make, but they can sell it to as many people as they want.
Wow, Joseph, that was a very, very insightful opinion on the strong revenues of Apple and how the good revenues are growing faster, which is going to lead to sustainable high margins. Well, here's the thing, Joseph. Did you know that 38 analysts were also offering 12-month price forecasts for Apple? That's right. There are legions of people that analyze Apple stock. You don't think the investment industry understands the good revenues of Apple from the bad revenues? You don't think they have even better resources than you do and have a bigger advantage than you do? Yeah, they do, Joseph. Can you honestly sit there in your arrogance and truly believe that you have some special insight into a company with a market capitalization of $2.56 trillion with a T, $trillion market cap? On top of that, it is literally 5.6% of the entire market capitalization of the U.S. stock market. This is the largest company in the market. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, somebody that buys the largest companies in the index and is pretending like they're adding some kind of extra value to you is meaningless. It's pointless. If you want to seek alpha, you probably want to do it in securities that are underappreciated by the market, if that even exists at all. Good luck finding that. But you're probably not going to find some special advantage in the largest companies in the freaking world, where millions of people know about them and millions of investors are all doing their own due diligence and research. You don't have that capability, especially as a retail investor. And looking at past performance isn't going to help you at all in your investment journey. Peace out.